Hello everyone, the market is still inching on up. We are still showing some strength, but interestingly enough, today the VIX and the overall market are both green. Is that interesting for the market? Yes, I do think so. In today's video, we're going to take a look at what the next steps are. We're going to take a look at the SP500, the NASDAQ, those large tech stocks, which are a big reason why the market moves to begin with. And then we're going to wrap it all together and we're going to look at the VIX. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with the video. First and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the large tech stocks, which are the big reasons why the market in general moves. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia, the big kahuna. All right, so pragmatically speaking, just purely based on this setup right now, this is actually like it's showing ridiculous strength. This is a ridiculously strong setup. It doesn't really make that much sense, but we gap down lower. The overall market gap down lower. Nvidia was down almost 3 to 4% at the open, and it almost closed green. It did close green. So this was just extreme dip buying pressure from Nvidia. Pragmatically speaking, this looks like an explosive move to the upside. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I don't think so, but what they're trying to paint is an explosive move to the upside. AMD, not so much. AMD is showing more weakness. It's a bit more stunted in its bounce, and AMD is not showing that much strength. Tesla gap down lower, also bounced up a bit, but Tesla also similar situation to AMD, not showing that much explosive power. But yes, the fact that we did hold 334 and bounced into the 340s is not something to take lightly. This is obviously they're still trying to paint a very bullish picture on Tesla and AMD. Okay, then when you look at Microsoft, this is just a really like just ridiculous setup in general. I was basically showing that Microsoft was setting up for a really just abnormally explosive move to the upside. That's basically what ended up happening. Now the issue is that these setups generally do not really hold themselves, but in the short term, a setup like this that does explode like this, we do see a bit higher and then a reversion back lower. But this was the fact that we ripped higher into inching up price action is ridiculous. And the fact that it ripped like this is just goes to show the amount of buyers that were in the market waiting for a dip. That's exactly what ended up happening, which is ridiculous. Google still holding below resistance levels, not showing that much strength. Apple, same concept, not showing that much strength, made new lows, but then it closed back up above support, above 207. So, and then Netflix obviously is still showing some strength. Meta, not so much. Similar situation. Meta is holding support, not entirely great, right? But then when you look at Amazon, also made new lows, closed green. So now, the question is, how much higher do these stocks have to go? So Nvidia, clear-cut evidence showing that there's a lot of strength. Nvidia, Microsoft, both of those stocks showing a lot of strength. You could even argue that these stocks that are reclaiming their support levels are also showing a lot of strength. But now the main issue, in my opinion, is the VIX. So we saw the VIX gapping up today. So this is a daily chart of the VIX. Obviously, the VIX gapped up, and it opened at almost $20. Okay, we couldn't close above $20, but we opened essentially at $20, and we closed back above 18. So the reason why the VIX is so important to look at is because the VIX has an inverse relationship to the market. If the VIX rises, then that means the market in general should be falling. And if the VIX holds support and bounces, that means the market in general should find resistance and fall. Okay? So, with that being said, this is currently what's going on the VIX. The VIX also is 5% green for the day. This is a 5% green move for the VIX intraday. The overall market closed almost green. Okay, so this is not the most bearish scenario. Okay, this is not the most bearish scenario for the overall market. We reverted back green. The market dipped, caught a bid, and this was just extreme buying pressure. And the fact that the VIX could not hold above 20, this is also a bit worrisome for bears, because this is, regardless of what works technically, regardless of what the best situation, the best trade and everything, sometimes the best trade is to go short, but buyers can step in and rip the market to the upside. There are a lot of bullish reasons heading into the next few months. The market in general, we saw a huge rip to the upside. But these large tech stocks, pragmatically speaking, these large tech stocks, the way that they bounced up today is showing extreme strength. And that is not to take lightly. Overnight, our puts were up 25-30%. Spectacular. We're going to have to see if the market is going to continue tumbling. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, just purely based off of the VIX's price action and the large tech stocks and just the overall buying momentum that we saw intraday. Not to be taken lightly. The SP500, the NASDAQ, the Russell, all of these stocks really did very, very well. If you were looking at the market today, everything did very, very fantastically. We bounced aggressively. The SPY opened up at 588. It closed almost, it retested 596 today. Made new highs. So this is not to be taken lightly. Just be very, very careful about aggressively going on either direction. We were down 1.5% in the morning, made back up all the gains and closed green. So this is going to be some interesting price action for the rest of the week. All right, so I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care and have an amazing rest of your Monday night. All right, love you guys. Take care.